Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. On this video, I'm going to be driving through Fowler, Indiana. And for those of you that get depressed around this time of the year because it's colder, there's not as much sun, and then you're coming on my channel and you're watching these Indiana videos that are cloudy and overcast and all that good stuff, I'm sorry for all these videos that are cloudy, but obviously I'm a human being like every last one of you, and therefore I have zero control over the climate. And if I sit around and I wait for a nice sunny days to record, then I'm not gonna be able to make no money on this channel. I'm not going to be able to grow this channel because I wouldn't be able to put out content in a timely manner. So let's continue. Now, Fowler, Indiana is located towards the northwest region of Indiana. It is 95 miles northeast of Indianapolis, 100 miles south of Chicago, and it's 32 miles northwest of Lafayette. And of course, you have several smaller towns, or you got several smaller towns that are within a half hour of here. So just bear that in mind as I continue with this video. So if you're looking to move here, those are some of the other places you can go to satisfy whatever needs you have, whether it be shopping, somewhere to go and grab a bite to eat, entertainment, employment opportunities, and so on, and you know what I'm saying. So anyways, Fowler, Indiana has got a population of 2,337 people. It has experienced a 0.9% population growth as of the 2020 census. Now, as of the 2010 census, the population was at 2,317 people. And at that time, the population had a 4.1% decline. So, again, there's people that are starting to move here and consider this town their new home, for some of the reasons that I've explained on my last video. So I'm not going to get into all that. Just go watch that video if you really care. Now, let's see. And on this video, I'm going to get into a little bit of history of this town. So this town, it's going to kind of sort of be a history video, so to speak, of this town. But before I do that, let's get some other housekeeping out of the way. Now, the racial demographics are going to be 95.1% white, 2% black, and 2% Hispanic. And if you're looking to purchase a house here, or if you're looking to move here for whatever reason, maybe after you get done with this video, you might want to move up here for whatever reason. Your median rent prices are going to go from $680 to $1,430 a month. The median home prices here are sitting at $152,000. However, if you have at least $130,000, that will be enough to get you in the game up here. Now, I'll just give you guys some basic history about this town. Okay. Now, Fowler was platted by Moses and Eliza Fowler. They were a married couple, on the 26th of October of 1872. And at that time, this town had 583 lots. Now, the town's first home was built on March of 1871 by Scott Shipman, and the town first business opened the same year in June. That was a small store ran by Henry D. Clark. Now, let me read some more history of this town. Now, in September of 1875, let's see. In September of 1875, the town of Fowler contained 10 lawyers, 1 minister, 3 doctors, 1 dentist, 1 baker, 2 barbershops, 3 billiard saloons, 2 blacksmith shops, 1 wagon shop, 3 boot and shoe stores, 1 grain elevator, 2 dry goods stores, 12 carpenters, 1 furniture store, 2 stove and tin stores, 1 hardware store, 1 hotel, 3 restaurants, 2 drug stores, 3 2 3 retail groceries stores, 1 clothing store, 1 merchant tailor, 1 graded school. I'm assuming when they say graded, that's, whatever grades that they taught during that time. I'm assuming that's what they mean. It's kind of like today, you got your elementary, your junior high, and your high school, 1 through 12th grade. So that's basically what they mean by graded schools, for those of you that are wondering what they mean. They also had 2 printing offices, 2 lumber yards, 2 churches, and the church had about 1,200 members. No, 2 churches and 1,200 inhabitants. So I guess at the time that they first found this town, had about the town at that point had about 1,200 people. But according to the demographics, in 1880, the population was only at 967 people. So I don't know who's the most accurate, but whatever. Anymore it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of the history of this town. And also, the town was incorporated. Fowler was incorporated into a town in 1875. And as you guys, could imagine at this point, just based off of the list of businesses that were in this town by 1875, this town did have a fairly substantial growth spurt. From 1890 to 1910, this town had a positive population growth. In 1890, the population grew by 32.9%. In 1900, the population grew by 11.2%. In 1910, the population grew another 4.3%. So by 1910, the population was up to 1,491 people. And then in 1920, it experienced a slight population decline, bringing the number down to 1,442 people. But then in 1930, it had an 8.5% population growth, and the number in the population came back up to 1,564 people. And the population continuously grew from 1930 up until 1970 without any type of population loss. And then in 1980, it lost 12.3% of its population. And at that time, the population was sitting at 2,319 people. But then again, from the 1990 to the 2020 census, the only year where the population had a decline was in the census of 2010, which the decline was 4.1%, as I mentioned earlier. So there were a few census years where the population declined, but for the most part, the population up here has been growing for the most part. All right, folks. So I don't really have much to say other than the history about the town. I mean, again, as I've said on my last video, if you don't need to be real close to a larger metro area, but you're good with being maybe within a couple of hours of a metro area for entertainment or what have you, then this could be a good place to live. I mean, you're not far from Lafayette. You're only about 32 miles northwest of Lafayette, so I mean, I wouldn't consider this being in the middle of nowhere, but depending on where you come from, for some of you, this might be considered being in the middle of nowhere. So, yeah, I don't really have anything to add. So, hopefully you got something out of the commentary, and go ahead, enjoy the remainder of the video. And as always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Andrew's Life. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because I will be putting out many more videos. And if you can, go ahead and do me a favor. It's free, it doesn't cost you a dime. Give videos like this a thumbs up, and I would highly appreciate it. All right, folks, stay blessed.